Hey guys, Trevor here. This is just going to be a quick recap to bring everyone up to speed on where the project's at. As I mentioned last week, we actually got to the end of our film window, which was from July 15th to July 23rd, and unfortunately we hadn't got all the shots that we'd hoped to get. So it left me in a bit of a predicament, and ultimately led to me, when I got my extra money, I was able to buy a new camera, and I felt it was important to own my own kit at that point because with the weather being so unpredictable and trying to slot people in for interviews and things like that, and also having to schedule when I could borrow the equipment from the uni, well, all in all, it was just one less thing I had to worry about. It also led to some footage that I'll be able to include in the doco that I wouldn't have had previous. So I walked out of Flinders Street one morning and there was a shower bus, which was really cool. I've been wanting to catch up with them and I just hadn't got around to it. So that was nice, and there was no homeless people around at the time taking showers. So the guy on board let me go in and take some footage of the outside and things like that, which was great. The other thing was that my new camera's got some features that the cameras we were loaning from the uni don't have, such as the capability to film. It's got its own infrared light, so we can do some night vision shots, which is a little bit Blair Witch, I know, but it led to this little scene that I put, which is basically of anyone that could be rocking up to a vacant bit of land at the back of suburbia somewhere, set up their swag and go to sleep for the night. There was also a few other events that come up by surprise, and this included a anyone can be homeless event which was run over at Richmond, and this was put together by the Union for Homeless Persons, or the Homeless Persons Union, which was great, and it was run very professionally. I was very impressed on the night. There was one of the local councillors was there. Spoke to her, and there was they looked at it from a couple of different viewpoints, and it went along really nicely. Out of that, I got some contacts with some people in the squatters world, and I went to a squatters event in Footscray. They wouldn't let me take any vision, but they let me record some audio, which was awesome. Also, the following day was the celebration at Bendigo Street. Bendigo Street was where a lot of the homes were seized under the East-West link, or the proposed East-West tunnel, which ultimately was cancelled by the new government. And there's there's over 300 homes that have just been left vacant, and the Homeless Persons Union, amongst others, feel that these homes should be handed over to public housing, because we've got something like 35,000 homeless that are waiting on the waiting list for public housing. So they'd had a recent court win and had a celebration, and it was a great day. There was bands, and we could have done with a few more people turning up, but it was still awesome. And the Bendigo Street special has actually been my most popular episode so far, and I really appreciate everyone that's come past and watched it. These episodes aren't necessarily about getting a huge fan base or anything like that. It offers me an opportunity to play around with editing, and I'm getting slicker at editing, and I'm getting better at putting things together. Hopefully my on-screen presence is improving. I'm also getting better at doing things on the first, second take, not needing 7 or 8. So after the Bendigo Street celebration, I had a couple of more interviews to lock in. One was with Teresa from the Royal District Nurses Service, or RDNS, and that was audio only, and it's going to be overlaid over some other footage. And then I had Zoe from Launch Housing, and she's specifically from their Rough Sleepers initiative, and we had a great chat down near the MCG at about 7 o'clock at night. It was a cold night, but it went off really good. Wanted it raining, didn't. That's the way it happens. We also then had a bit of, it was a Recklink Grand Final, and I went there thinking I was rocking up on day 2. Turned out I rocked up on day 1. So I went back the next day and had a cool interview with the CEO, John Bayliss, which led to him asking me to come and do some video work for him at Parliament House as part of their Chocktober fundraising event to try and get women and girls into sport, which is awesome. And then around that time, finally got to film the closing scene. We had to come up with a new closing scene. Got that. Out of that I had ideas for the opening scene, and on the 23rd of September, on a very early morning, I was at Flinders Street at 5:30, ended up filming the opening scene, and that's basically all the filming done. I'm thinking now there might be a couple of little things that I need to do, just to tie it all together, but we'll see what happens. It puts the whole project at the moment, we're about 2 months behind schedule. I'd hoped to have all the filming done at the end of July. That didn't happen. So now into post-production, I've put together the first 5.5 minutes, so the opening and leading into the first bit. I've still got to organise soundtrack and talk to musicians and things like that. Once again, I'd like to thank all the investors that got on board, and also the crew. They did an awesome job. I know towards the end they might feel whatever they might feel. Some weren't available on certain days, and that didn't bother me too much. If you're not available, well, you're not available. What I'm concerned about is how you operate when you're on site, and they worked great and did everything I asked them to, and you know, that was all part and parcel of it. I couldn't do this thing on my own, and that's why I needed a crew for. I couldn't also fund it on my own. That's what I needed the investors for. And the money that the investors poured in, as much as we did filming outside the window and all of that sort of thing, we couldn't have got some of the stuff we got done. We just couldn't have got it done without the vehicle to move all the equipment, and that's going to come out in the production. So I'm really appreciative of all that. I'm not sure when we're going to release the thing yet, or where it's going to end up. That's for upcoming episodes. These episodes are going to change. I'm looking at moving the preparation videos to a monthly thing, so probably the first Sunday of the month, which this one happens to be, so that works out nice. And I'm going to create a new playlist, and because I'm doing all sorts of interesting things all over the place, and there's all sorts of interesting stuff happening in Melbourne, and I might just do a weekly update with Trevor or something like that. I'm not sure yet. I'm still got some brainstorming to do. Anyway, guys, that's about it. So all the filming is now basically done, and it's all guns blazing through post-production, and it's all looking really good. So I'm really impressed with some of the shots we got. Some of the shots that I didn't think were really good turned out to be absolutely awesome. So that's all part of it. Anyway, cheers, guys. Keep tuning in, and hopefully in the near future, we'll roll this thing out. Cheers.